It's very rarely incorporated into the body of music that we're dealing with, and you've done it so well. I think. Why don't you rap to people about that?
Welcome. We are back. Another day in the market. Hope everybody's doing well. And a pretty good day, nice screen day. So let's talk about what's going on. We're going to start with Bitcoin, then talk about the overall stock market. We'll talk about some individual stocks, what I'm watching, other markets we'll talk about. So we should have time for ticker request tonight as well. We got a lot to cover. And just overall, I mean, it's in the title of the stream. We're seeing a potential breakout for the stock market right now for the first time this year. Just stay tuned and I'll talk about it. So also, not even with the stock market, even Bitcoin's testing a very important level. I mean, I could just draw like a little bit of a zone here. It's testing this level right here. So I'm not sure what happens, whether, you know, this turns into like a double top and dumps, or maybe this turns into a cup and handle and it breaks out. You know, I don't know what happens next, but it's testing a make or break area. Hopefully it can break above this zone. It really hasn't been able to. I mean, look how big this is. I didn't even realize that. Wow. It was support here, then it flipped into resistance here, and here. So huge zone here around 45K. Hopefully it can break back above it. That would be amazing. You could also even look at that as like the neckline of this double bottom, which is your first bottom and your second bottom. So really big level to watch on Bitcoin that's currently being tested. You have hidden bullish divergence to maybe help you break out towards the upside, but we will see. For Bitcoin's brother, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, Ethereum, also might be not even just testing the level, but breaking out of the supply line, or just whatever you want to call this structure. You can maybe call it a descending broadening wedge. You have 3 touches on your demand line and 2 on your supply line, so it is a real pattern. So you're getting a breakout for Ethereum right now after double bottoming at the PCZ of this sharp we've been eyeing since like January. So hopefully Ethereum can make it up to 3,300 and finally break above it. It couldn't break above the last 2 or 3 times it tested it, and yeah. I mean, this is swing tradable. The only issue is, you know, having a stop under the recent low is like a 24% stop. So that's Ethereum. OMI broke down from the range it was in. So let me see if I can give any update on how this is doing. Let's see. I'm not sure. It's going to be probably a mix of a Gartley and a bat, it looks like. Actually, no. Yeah. So this is a mix of a bullish Gartley and a bullish bat. Already hit the PCZ and bounced like 50% off of it. So I don't even know if there's any point at looking at it anymore. I do like how the MACD is crossing back towards green, and you do have some resistance at this level that I drew. I would like it a lot better if it got back above 0.00497. Until then, I just don't really see much of any pattern. Maybe there was another harmonic in play here as well. I mean, we can take a look at this. Could have been a butterfly. Pretty much a butterfly. A lot of people don't like 1618 butterflies, but I've seen them play out quite a bit. So pretty close to a 1618 butterfly right there as well. And now you're just kind of consolidating for the last week within this little range. So that's a little quick update on crypto. Crude oil futures, or light crude oil futures, are mooning, literally. We've been looking at this for the past week or so with everything going on. And let's see how high it's gotten. Looks like the highest levels are your highest price since August of 2013. So almost in a decade, this is your highest price, which is just crazy. And if you break, like, you have maybe a little bit of resistance between like 114 and like 111, which I can drag out over here. You have maybe a little bit of resistance here, but if you break, I'd say if you break like 115 on crude oil futures, there's nothing stopping it from running to all-time highs. I mean, we could go back in time. I don't know how far back this chart goes, but according to this chart, if you break above 115, there's literally no resistance until all-time highs at 147, which is just crazy to think about. So, yeah, huge. This is pretty much the final resistance until all-time highs. So this can affect a lot of different areas of the market. You want to keep a close eye on this. Definitely. Final resistance, the final wall it would have to break until potentially a move to all-time highs, which is crazy to think about because that's still like another 30% higher. You're obviously going to have, pullbacks. Even if it does break out, you're not just going to shoot right up to there. I mean, maybe if it does what it's been doing for the past few days, maybe, but like it's probably not going to just shoot up straight. You're going to have pullbacks. You never know, maybe back tests. A lot of different things can happen, but this is definitely a very big level that I'm sure a lot of other people are watching as well. So let's talk about, before we head into the US stock market, well, really quickly, futures are like slightly red, but not that much. I think trading is still halted on the Russian market, and the Hang Seng Index did trade today, and it closed at its lowest level since like back in the COVID crash area. So I pretty much think the next support is probably its low from the COVID crash around 21.1K. Maybe a little bit of support here, like 21 here, but you get this area is pretty much like your next support area for the Hang Seng Index after the breakdown it's currently seeing. So we'll create a little bit of a zone there, see if it falls there within the next month or so. All right, and gold is still mooning. It broke above the high from June of last year, tested highs from November of 2020. If it breaks that, gold could even make a move to all-time highs. It's not too far, 7% away. I mean, just since I was talking about gold potentially breaking out like 2 months ago, it's already up 7%. So it just has to do the same exact move, but again. But we'll see what happens. You have to remember, now you're starting to get overbought on things like gold and crude oil futures. They can stay overbought for a while, but you are starting to get to those areas on the RSI. Looking at the dollar, you pretty much are testing the supply line of this wedge, which also lines up with some historical resistance around 97.77 from this high over here, this high over here, these lows over here, a couple of these highs if you really zoom in over here, and definitely this recent high in June of 2020. So that's pretty much your short-term resistance for the dollar. If it breaks above that, maybe heads up towards almost 199. So we can chart a couple new levels there. And another one, I mean, how much was I talking about the dollar every night on stream after it broke out of the wedge and then had the cup and handle and the hidden bullish divergence? I mean, it went from one bullish structure to another bullish structure to a back test of the structure with hidden bullish divergence. It was just a perfect sequence of technical events and of course catalysts. But at the same time, this is just the dollar currency index. We are still seeing pretty hot inflation. I'm not sure when the next CPI numbers are though, but Powell did speak today. He talked about, if things currently stay how they are, a 25 basis point rate hike is still planned for March. But of course, with everything happening in Ukraine, even the Fed has to kind of reassess everything going on and how that can affect different things. But the market had a good reaction. I mean, he was talking, it was like a testimony. He was talking for like, I don't know how long, it felt like 4 hours or something. It probably was like 2.5 or something. I don't remember, but he was talking for a while. He touched on everything. He said he wasn't a big fan of crypto. I know that shot down or pulled down Bitcoin a little bit during the day. He said some things about crypto not being used for the best reasons. He said things like that before though, but he reiterated them. I can't remember what else he talked about. I was just kind of in and out of the live stream. But he did talk today, and what's most important is how the market reacted to it. And the market did react well so far. We'll see what happens in the coming days. I think he might be speaking again tomorrow. I'm not completely sure. I think let's see if Cheddar has it on the schedule. Thursday, 10 a.m. So yeah, 2 days in a row. Looks like the same exact thing tomorrow. So we'll see. Day one market reacted well. We'll see what happens day two. I don't know if there's anything else big going on. Not that I see. Unemployment rate on Friday. So yeah, and then we also had the State of the Union address last night. I wasn't live last night, but we did have Biden speaking. I think he said some good things about infrastructure. I don't really want to get into everything else because it's not really a political stream. But infrastructure, in terms of the overall market, I think what he said was good. Apart from that, I'm not going to give any of my opinions out, even though I don't really have much of any. So, yeah. That's pretty much the markets apart from the US stock market. Let's talk about what's going on now in the overall market. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and title the stream. The stock market is breaking out. It's a little bit of clickbait there. You're very close to breaking out on a few things. And on other assets or indices or ETFs, you are kind of breaking out. So you're pretty much testing your breakouts. So you don't have confirmed breakouts. Remember, you always want multiple days of confirmation. You want to see back tests. You want to see good break hooking goes. You want to see bullish engulfing candles, volume signatures. There's a lot of things you want to break out. It's not just the breakout itself. Getting above a line on the chart doesn't mean for sure it's going to the moon. Very common misconception for like newer traders. So they're testing breakouts, and this is the first time I really think since like this year that you're testing any sort of a breakout. You've been making lower highs and lower lows, and still you are at a lower high. You haven't really changed that trend, but you've been in these downsloping channels and wedges since December for the tech indices, and for the ARK ETF since like November, I think. So the ARK, I mean, just to really quickly show you, like I already talked all about this triple classic bullish divergence and how all the indices were showing classic bullish divergence at the same time. First of all, that's confirmed on the S&P as of today. It's the first time you have classic bullish divergence in years. And I mean, even if we like draw a supply line here, you can see the S&P really hasn't broken out yet. But if you take a look at something like the QQQ, it's 1 day away. I mean, if tomorrow's a green day and it closes green, you could break out tomorrow on the QQQ. Same exact thing for the Nasdaq. Even if it's not tomorrow, it could happen the next day. Just by going sideways, you can break out of your downsloping channels or wedges. So these are the breakouts you are testing for the overall market. Appreciate the subscription, Raven. I need to change that from the fireworks. That's from like the beginning of the year. I forgot to do that. Wow. Also, the new subscribers numbers have been really, really bad. Worst month. February was the worst month ever. So if you're watching the stream and you're not subscribed, let's not have March be the worst month ever again. Hopefully. So Nasdaq testing a breakout of this wedge. ARK ETF is also still testing a breakout of the falling wedge. I've already talked about this like all week. It's still testing it. It looked like it was breaking out for a little bit on Monday, and it pulled back yesterday, and then today it pulled back a little bit in the morning, quite a bit in the morning, and then it bounced up towards the end of the day. So those are the breakouts the market is currently testing across the board, really apart from the S&P 500. But the S&P also has its own respective breakout that's being tested, which I tweeted about earlier today. It's this little like, I don't know, the last week of resistance has been around this level on the S&P 500. This is a daily chart, so the S&P is also testing a breakout of this level. If you go to like the 5-minute chart, you can see it a lot clearer. Where you have, 1, 2, 3, almost 4, 5 different tests of this resistance you pulled back, and then on the 5th one today you broke over it, and then you pretty much spent the rest of the day back testing. So you literally just want to have a green day tomorrow. Even like a 0.10% green day would at least keep you above this resistance zone. So you just want to not go, or you could go lower intraday, of course, anything can happen. I'm saying in terms of the close tomorrow, you're looking for a close at least in this zone again or above this zone. So you're testing a breakout there for the S&P 500. If you break this, there's not much resistance up to like 445, which lines up with the 200-day moving average, like 4 days of lows from like right over here in February, almost a high from over here in last September and last August. So 445-ish could be tested if you can clear 438 and confirm above it. So you can definitely take a look at that on lower time frames tomorrow, where I probably am bullish intraday above 438 and bearish intraday under 438 tomorrow. That's probably the easiest way I'm going to be looking at the market tomorrow. Of course, anything could change, but those are your lower time frames on the S&P 500. Really good price action today. I mean, I've tried my best to break down the market. If you've been watching the stream so far this week, pretty much everything has been spot on in terms of my analysis so far. And it's not always the case. I'm not always right about the market. And then also, just in terms of the trades, I shared 2 different puts over here on Monday and Tuesday, I believe. Both of them worked out in premium. And then I shared calls today, QQQ calls today in premium. Those ran like 140% or something. So we played the downside in the beginning of the week, and then I shared calls like at 9:38 a.m. this morning, and then the QQQ ripped like all day pretty much. So the analysis so far has been good, so we'll see if I can keep it up. But yeah, the price action was nice today. I believe, we can do the trade recap while we're just looking at the lower time frames, but yeah, 9:37, not 9:38. Sorry, my memory was 1 minute off. I shared QQQ same day expiration calls. There were 342 strikes, and it was pretty much like right under 342 at the time. 7 minutes after the open, and yeah, I shared them when it was pretty much over here. You could see at the bottom of this range, and it had a little bit of choppiness at first. It went up right away, then it fell down, and then it ripped pretty much the rest of the day. So the calls did go up about 140%. I even said that it moved to the top of the range in the morning at 9:44 a.m., like literally 14 minutes after the open. I said break above this little resistance and VWAP could send it back to the top of the range, and that did happen at the end of the day. It hit the top of the range. I did take profits early, like kind of in this little yellow area, but I still walked away with like 40% personally, 45%. But very nice trade, a little range bound trade, still in the range for tomorrow. So this is another make or break area you want to watch on the QQQ tomorrow. If it can get above this resistance, that would be good. If it can't, it could head back down to the bottom of the range, and then we'll see how it does if it tests that tomorrow. But yeah, that was pretty much the price action today. Even in the Discord, like nonstop, I was sharing charts. So make sure you join the Discord. The link is in the description. It's completely free to join the Discord. I was sharing a lot of different intraday charts you can see right over here throughout the whole entire day of what I was thinking about the market. I was sharing the QQQ breaking out, the SPY breaking out before it did. So yeah, make sure you join that and see the intraday analysis. Apart from that, I didn't really look at the Russell too much intraday. It just kind of ripped. It was pretty good. Let's go over to like a little higher time frame, like the 1 hour chart. One thing I didn't even mention on the 1 hour, we had very nice classic bullish divergence towards the end of last week that I talked about, and that's definitely played out beautifully. And now we are starting to see the potential, just the potential for a classic bearish divergence. If we start pulling back tomorrow or even Friday, you could confirm 1 hour classic bearish divergence. And then maybe you just start creating like this little range here, or, you know. So you do have 1 hour classic bearish divergence potentially across the board. It's not confirmed yet. Your MACD would have to cross to red first. But I just wanted to make sure I brought that up tonight. Even the QQQ, you can see this resistance on the 1 hour. I already showed it on the 5 minute time frame. You can see this resistance around 348, 349. Watch that tomorrow. And that's the majority of the analysis. ARK ETF is also looking still very interesting. We talked about how it's a closer break on the daily. Look at the 1 hour chart. It's been, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times it's tested this supply line. Every single time it's pulled back at it. Maybe the 8th time is the charm, even if it's not, and it starts pulling back at it, maybe it could be a play to the downside. But if it does break out of it, I mean, the longer the pattern, the larger the move after the breakout, typically. So it will be very, very interesting to see if the ARK can break out in the next couple of days as well. After springing back above those little supports, has around like 63 to 65. So that's the overall market. Apart from that, I also shared some Nvidia calls today. Still keeping a close eye on Nvidia for tomorrow. Right at this green arrow is where I shared Nvidia calls with everybody in the Discord. You don't even have to be in premium. It was right over here in the Swing Alerts channel. 11:15. Those calls were at $2.68 a contract, and they went up to $3.75, which is a 40% profit within a few hours. And yeah, so my idea for the Nvidia trade today was a breakout of this downsloping channel. It's been in since the 28th of February. So for the last 2 days, I saw the breakout, and I alerted it right after I saw it breaking out. It consolidated for a little bit. The calls were down like 10-15%. They never went down 20% since my alert. And then it finally found a footing after back testing. I was updating it the whole entire time, so there was no confusion about what was going on. Literally, I mean, these were the amount of charts I sent about Nvidia all just from today. So I was trying to update as much as I could. And yeah, it finally back tested a little bit, and then it just ripped up until like the last hour of the day, and then pulled back slightly into the close. But very key level you want to watch for Nvidia tomorrow is 241.64. You can see it was support here, support perfectly right over here, resistance perfectly over here, resistance over here perfectly, resistance here perfectly, and here perfectly. And then today you broke above the level and you back tested it not once, not once, but twice. And then after hours, it did pull back and break under it. But again, I really only focus on intraday candles for my day trades, especially. So we'll see how it looks intraday tomorrow. So Nvidia is another one I'm still keeping a close eye on. Even on the higher time frames, it still looks very, very interesting to me. I mean, take a look at this. It's in this nice little wedge, and it's kind of double bottomed around 208 already, which was a gap fill back from October 14th of last year, and a previous high from July 6th. Look how like nice of a level 208 is. Like previous resistance, twice, a support, and a gap fill. I mean, I don't know how I wasn't looking at this over here. Even on the second low, like it already hit the first low here on January 24th, like the second low, like, and then people try to say TA is fake. Like, tell me how this happened, okay? Boom. 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 So Good stuff there, and it's also, I think, right above the 200-day. Yep, it's right above. Spent pretty much last 3 or 4 days holding the 200-day, which is nice to see after it had this nice huge green day back above it. So every day for 4 days after it finally had this, kind of capitulation reverse candle, you've had 4 days of consolidation above the 200-day moving average. So that's Nvidia, Wish, in this downsloping channel. I'm actually starting to keep an eye on it. I mean, there's really nothing that's crazy about it. It's just, I can't believe that it's gone down to $2. There's a lot of companies like this, and I don't know too much about Wish, honestly. I'm just watching to see if Wish can break out of this downsloping channel at some point, maybe make some sort of a move. Again, the downtrend is still very, very real. Same thing for clov. The downtrend is very, very real on clov. But what happened when clov broke out of the wedge? And I did talk about it the day before it broke out of the wedge. I said watch for a potential breakout, and it made a 30% move in like a week after the breakout. So, I mean, I guess we're at clov now. It did pull back a little bit today. Really nothing much, pull back like 1.5%. I mean, this could also be perceived as a flag on clov on lower time frames. So you could maybe chart that. I just want to see it hold above 251. You can see how many lows and highs are at this 251 level. I would just like to see it hold above that short term. And then of course, I've been sharing this all week. These are all my levels on the 1 hour chart. So I would just take it level by level for right now on clov. And then, the weekly looks great to me. The wedge breakout, I've been talking about the nearly confirmed classic bullish divergence, but that could take a long time. And yeah, what else is there? Fisker kind of went sideways today, didn't really do much, so not much of anything to update on. Even yesterday, this whole entire week has just been sideways for Fisker. It's back outside of the downsloping channel, which is good. I just want to see it break and hold above 1220. That would be nice to see. It was your low from last September, and then it flipped into resistance. So I'd like to see it start closing above 1220. Tesla was up 2% today. This is actually, I didn't even look at this today, but it's testing a breakout of a wedge with classic bullish divergence and a reclaim of the 200-day moving average. I did actually look at it on lower time frames, so it has this channel. So calls or puts could be played depending on whichever way this breaks tomorrow, assuming it does break this tomorrow, which I think it would at some point depending on the market. So that's another one I'm keeping a close eye on for tomorrow. You can see I already have alerts set up in both directions. So that's what Tesla's up to. And the swings, Facebook was up 2% today. It was up even more at one point. It was up slightly more. It was up like 209 at one point. Nothing much. It's still around the entry again. These are, I mean, this harmonic started in the COVID crash. These are 2-year-long patterns. It could take a long time for these swings to play out. Moves 2 or 3% higher or lower. It's really not much, to care about. You're looking at the larger picture here. Even Netflix, I mean, we're talking about harmonics that literally started off the COVID crash lows and just completed like this month. 2-year harmonics that just hit their PCZs, and they're not perfect harmonics. We have other variables as well. It could take some time, so you just got to give some time. The stops are there. Just let them, let them oscillate. Let their formations appear, and we'll see what happens eventually. And that's really it. Keep an eye out for new swings tomorrow and the day after. If we do get the breakouts in the market that I was just talking about in the beginning of the stream, I already have a whole entire watch list full of potential swings. And yeah, we could do some ticker requests, I guess, for a bit. I'm not gonna lie, this is the driest I've seen the stream like pretty much since I've started streaming, which kind of sucks. But I don't know, it's just the market now, I guess. It's weird. It really is weird, but it is what it is. So if there's anybody in the chat that wants me to take a look at tickers, drop it in the chat and I can take a look. Also, I have been really, really inconsistent, which makes things a lot tougher. So I get that too. If you bought 3K shares of clov at $2, what would you do with it being at its current price and the amount of potential it may have? We just talked about clov, and also I cannot give you financial advice. I'm not saying that you were the one that did that or whatnot. For anybody who is in any sort of situation, that's not what I do here. I just talk about levels on charts, and yeah, clov will be in the timestamps, which will be out tomorrow morning. But again, I already said right now I'm just taking it level by level, watching that weekly breakout. I think it can go higher over time, but I think it's going to take time, and I don't know the future as well. So appreciate that, Papa Stratus. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Norwegian Cruise Lines forward. Norwegian Cruise Lines, I think the easiest way to look at it is you just want to see it hold above 1741. That's a gap fill from right over here. It filled like last week. And it's just kind of in this little range here between $17.41 and $23.24. So whichever way this range breaks could be telling. It also it looks kind of similar to Delta, where it just has like this longer term downsloping channel. So that's how I'd look at NCLH for right now. I think it looks fine as long as it holds 1741. If it breaks 1741, then all these little lows could be the next levels it heads to. And then Ford is looking pretty interesting. No divergence. Why is this here? Oh, actually, it's really interesting. Look at that RSI resistance level on Ford. Like 1, 2, like how many times in a row? So, Ford's looking interesting. It's breaking back above 1783, which is a pretty historical area. It was resistance in 2013 and 14. I don't know if it dates back even further. Yeah, it was resistance in 2002 and in 97. So it's flipping what was once a resistance like 4 times in the last 2 decades into a support potentially. Well, it's breaking back above it after bouncing off the 200-day moving average. It has a gap fill over here around $20, right under 20. Maybe a little bit of resistance as well around 1890. You do have quite a bit of resistance above it, which makes it a little bit tougher. I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of different highs and lows in that little area. But you could also take a look at this as kind of like a right-angled descending broadening wedge. You only have like, I'd say you have like 2 touches. Maybe, I mean 2 touches on your demand line. Maybe you could call it 3 touches. It's close, I don't know, it just looks a little bit small. But a break above 1863 could head you up to that gap fill. If not, I'd say 1639, this previous high flipped into a support here, could be resistance. I mean support potentially. So that is Ford. And yeah, I guess that'll be it for tonight. So hit the like button if you didn't already. Hit the subscribe button. I should be live again tomorrow night. Join the Discord, the link is in the description. And if you want to donate crypto to Ukraine, that's also the first link in the description. So thank you for watching the stream. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow most likely. Peace out.